Kia has been on a bit of a roll in recent years, with cars like the Kia EV6 and EV9 selling well and proving that the brand can really compete even with premium rivals. So, how about a slightly more affordable offering with this, the Kia EV3? So, as you may be able to guess from the name and the looks of it, the Kia EV3 is the smaller sibling to the EV6 and the EV9. So it shares quite a lot of design language with those cars, particularly the EV9. Personally, I quite like it. I think it looks quite blocky and modern and cool. I like the colours that you can get the EV3 in, it's a bit different. However, it is definitely a matter of opinion. Your friend and mine, Chris Natman, whose videos you can see on the CarGurus UK YouTube channel, well, he's just had a look at this and told me that he thinks it looks terrible and it's like something a child drew. So yeah, let us know what you think. I like it. And I also like the fact that it's not massive. So the EV3 is 4.3 metres long. So it's a direct rival to cars like the Volkswagen ID3, the Jeep Avenger, the Peugeot E2008, the Hyundai Kona, tons of rivals out there. So yeah, it has definitely got a lot of competition, but for a fairly compact car, it's also pretty spacious inside. And this is also kind of a rival to the Kia Niro, which remains on sale for now, but I don't really know why, because it's only fractionally bigger than the EV3, and yet this is actually more affordable and longer range. There are two batteries on offer, a 58.3 or an 81.4 kilowatt-hour unit, which offer a WLTP range of up to 267 or 372 miles respectively. And get this, if you go for the big battery Air model that we are testing here, it costs £35,995 for over 370 miles of range. How good is that? You can push the price up to nearly £44,000 though if you go for top-spec GT Line S, while the smaller battery model is only available in the entry-level Air spec and costs from £33,000. Right, so we know that it's surprisingly affordable, enough to even make you think twice about an MG4, although the MG is still a bit better on the PCP monthly deals. And it's roomy and practical, just as you wish. So, 460 litre boot. That's not bad, is it? And look at this, you get a variable boot floor, so you get a bit of cable storage under there, and you can raise this floor so that it's flush with the load lip. So really well thought out in there. You get a nice little load bay cover there, really like that. So this is a good sized boot, usefully more than you get in a Volvo EX30. So yeah, really good. You even get a 25 litre cubby in the nose of the car, but that sounds big. In practice, probably not as useful as you might imagine. As for rear space, well, again, pretty impressive. So I can sit behind myself in my driving position really easily. Even if you've got a tall driver, I think you'd be good for legroom back here. It's not bad at all. Decent headroom as well. So yeah, pretty impressed back here. If you've got a couple of kids, I think this is going to do really well. And centre armrest with a couple of cup holders, two little charging ports here, and don't forget this is the basic Air model, so this is all standard, so it's really, really good. What do you think of the upholstery? So Kia's gone quite big on recycled materials in the EV3, and I think this looks cool, and I like the sort of textures of it. I worry a bit about how it might mark, but I can't speak for that because I haven't really lived with this car. So later on, I will throw a bag of crisps back here, really press some chocolate in and then kind of finish it off with a fruit shoot, and I'll come back and let you know. The dash is pretty simple and modern looking, with a lot of the design taken from the bigger EV9. Every EV3 gets two 12.3-inch screens, complete with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, plus a smaller screen for climate control stuff. I have to say that I think this little screen here for the climate control is quite unnecessary, because you've got physical buttons here for the climate temperature, and that's all that you need, and the rest of it you can access in the touchscreen if you need to. Plus, it's kind of hidden behind the steering wheel. Other than that, there's not really a lot to complain about with the screen. Graphics are good, you've got all the functions that you want, including over-the-air software updates and all of that kind of stuff. Usability is really decent. You've got these shortcut buttons down here to help you hop between the different functions. Actually really very decent. You can also turn off lane keep assist, long press on the steering wheel button here, but I do have one whinge with the screen, which is that you've got a favourite button here and you can program that to take you to your driver assist, but it's quite fiddly to try and turn off the speed limit warning or any of the other driver aids that you might want to have kind of easy control of. That's becoming quite a common whinge of mine, isn't it? So yeah, I like the fact that you can turn lane keep assist off via the steering wheel, but it's still a bit too difficult to turn off the rest of it via this screen. But generally, really like it, and even in this Air spec, which does miss out on higher specs get kind of a table, like a kind of airline style table that you can pull out and use and put your laptop on, and that's fine. I don't really miss it. Loads of storage down here, and you even get heated seats, heated steering wheel, keyless entry, adaptive cruise. What more do you need? I really do think that the Air is probably the best trim to go for, apart from you don't get lumbar adjustment, and I do miss that on a long journey. So yeah, pack a pillow for your back and stick with Air and you're going to save loads of money.
As for charging stuff, the EV3 tops out at 120 kilowatts, which is good for a 100-mile top-up in roughly 15 to 20 minutes. That big battery though, well, that will take more like 40 to 50 minutes for a 10 to 80% top-up, more like half an hour for the smaller battery. But what with the range on that big battery being so much longer, at least you won't have to stop so often.
Right, let's talk about how the EV3 drives. It's comfy, it's as fast as you need it to be, it's really quiet. There's something about the damping to all of the driver controls in the EV3 that I think is just makes it feel really well put together. It feels like quite a sort of stiff car as well, so it rides really well. Over speed bumps, it just feels really settled. Potholes and things, doesn't get jarring. It's just really, really well sorted. It's on the smaller wheels that you can get, so that probably helps too, but really impressed with it. It's just very stable, very confident. You can only get the EV3 as a front wheel drive car. All of them have got 201 brake horsepower regardless of which battery you go for, but that's more than enough power because you're still talking 7.4 seconds to 62 for the smaller battery, 7.7 seconds for this car just because of the extra weight. But it feels really punchy, even right up to motorway speeds. There's no issue at all. You do get a little bit of float over big undulations like we've got on this country road here. Honestly, I think it's really well judged. One other thing to mention is the brake regen, which Kia and Hyundai both have been brilliant at from the off with electric cars really. So you've got really variable 3 settings, plus you can have it as automatic, so it senses when there's a car in front and automatically changes the braking level. You've got all of the variables that you want with the brake regen. It's always really smooth, bleeds in really nicely, it's very nice and predictable. This is an extremely easy car to drive smoothly. I suppose if I'm looking for things to complain about, it's not a driving aspect, but if you want a heat pump on the EV3, you have to go for the top spec GT Line S, which is quite a big price jump, and then you have to pay £900 to get a heat pump, which helps with efficient running in winter. So that is a bit of a disappointment given that a lot of the EV3's rivals do get a heat pump as standard. But this car hasn't got a heat pump, and yet I've still found it really efficient even in winter.
Having such a big battery does pay off in that we're getting 270 miles even in the real world in cold weather and on the motorway, which is a worst case scenario for any EV, and that's despite not having a heat pump, so pretty impressive really. Also useful is that the EV3's readout is very accurate, so if it's telling you that you're going to get 200 miles, well, you are actually going to get 200 miles.
So, it's really comfy and brilliant to drive, it's spacious, it's a really usefully compact size. I think it looks great, I can understand why some people might not. Basically, this is the complete package. It's absolutely fabulous. And of course, you've got that 7-year warranty as well. So there's so much going for the EV3 that I reckon it is actually the best electric family car you can buy, despite there being a whole host of competition. For the range, for the value, for what you're getting, it's just absolutely brilliant. I love it.
Head to CarGurus.co.uk for a whole host of fantastic used cars. There are loads of great electric cars, including some very good used Kias out there too. And while you're here, please do like the video, subscribe to the CarGurus UK YouTube channel, and turn your notifications on so that you don't miss any of our videos.